One complaint we frequently hear is, I don't have good luck with Airbnb, or I didn't really like the last place I rented through Airbnb. This is not a sponsored post. Airbnb doesn't even do that anymore.
In this video, we're going to share with you the 6 things that we do which have helped us have a near perfect record with not being disappointed with the places that we've rented.
So if you're looking to get some of the benefits, such as having a kitchen or staying in a local neighborhood that one gets from renting as opposed to just staying in a hotel, then this video is for you. I'm Kathy.
And I'm Derek. We got rid of all of our stuff in 2024 to begin traveling the world full time. And this is Good Life Road.
If you know your own criteria for a place and use that criteria when choosing the place, you're more likely to like what you rent. It sounds obvious, but a lot of people skip this step.
So our criteria looks like this: near where you want to be,
not too loud,
Wi-Fi works well and is reliable, and it looks like a nice place where you can spend time and get some work done.
And get a good vibe from the owner. We're going to get into how we make sure all this criteria is met next. Now, this one could probably be number one, just because almost every time I hear somebody say they haven't had good luck with Airbnb or they rented somewhere that they didn't like, it almost always, when I ask them how they did with reading the reviews, they kind of sheepishly let you know that they didn't really read the reviews. This is a bad idea.
Yeah, and so while you don't need to read every review, especially when there's a lot of them, like 100 plus, we do have a few rules of thumb that will help you get the most out of the reviews.
First rule of thumb is start by setting a standard of how low you're willing to go. So generally, I try to book places that have 25 or more reviews and get a 4.9 or above.
Yeah, and it's okay if you have to bend the rules sometimes. If there's low availability or the prices are high, it's okay to adjust a little bit. You just have to keep in mind that the lower the number of the reviews, the less probability you're going to get good information out of them.
And remember, pictures never tell the whole story. So if a place looks gorgeous in the pictures, but it doesn't get good reviews, just move on. This is just a quick reminder, if you haven't already, to please give the video a like and subscribe if you're enjoying this video, because we have a lot more coming. Thanks.
Thank you. So now that you've read at least 3 to 5 of the recent reviews, the next thing to do, which is a really helpful trick, is to sort by the lowest rating. Take note of what that issue was that somebody was complaining about, and take note of when that review was put into the system, because some of the hosts that are just getting started, and if you see reviews that are like 5 years old, they may have sorted things out and corrected that issue. So good chance if you're not seeing that issue perpetuating into the future, that you're going to be in good shape.
So a hugely helpful aspect within the reviews is searching by terms. So using that search function is important. For example, like if you're concerned about the location, you've already done a good job of, kind of triangulating it on the map and making sure it's near whatever you want it to be near. Then a good thing to do is put the word location into the search function, and that will pull up all the reviews that mention the location. Sometimes it'll just be like, location was great, but other times they'll give you little clues like, the location was good. It was just a 25-minute walk to the station. That's something that might matter to you. So it's good to know, because sometimes people will try to say things nicely, but that are still giving you information. Another thing I've noticed is sometimes with stairs or really narrow staircases, or maybe rooms that are rooms, but they don't have a door or something like that. Sometimes you won't be able to see that too well in a photo, but you will hear about it in a review. So if you put search terms in, it's very helpful.
Could be on the 5th floor without an elevator.
Yeah, it's happened.
Yeah. So a few other good terms to search for are noise, Wi-Fi, bed, comfort of the bed. So comfort of the bed is a really important one that you can find more information about in the reviews.
Yeah, if you just put the word bed, you kind of want to keep it a little bit vague. So if you just put the word bed, you'll get all the reviews where a person mentions the bed. And people really do like to comment on the comfort of beds, understandably. So that, if that's something important to you or you're picky about beds, that's a good thing to know.
These sections are important and sometimes contain information that are not readily available from looking at the pictures really closely. So this includes the amenities list like the neighborhood highlights section, as well as the things to know section. Don't forget, if you're going into a hot or a cold environment, to check out if they talk about having good heating or cooling.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be listed in the amenities list, and I have forgotten to check on that before, much to my chagrin. So be sure you check that. Also, always look at the cancellation policy, because some hosts have a within 48 hours of booking, 0 cancellation policy. We try to almost never book those places because obviously it's a big risk. But if we are 99.9% sure we're going to go, then we do book it. But otherwise, yeah. So you want to be sure to do that, and you want to be sure to put the dates in your calendar.
Yeah, and another thing from a financial perspective that I like to look at sometimes, if you're going to be booking like multiple months, it's nice to see if they will allow you to pay for like 1 month now and the next month, like a month before you show up. Something like that is really helpful as well.
Yeah, and you can see that by clicking into the details on the costs.
Yeah.
You can see the breakdown a little bit. It'll say pay this month now, or pay this week here, and then this week here. So
don't be afraid of the red reserve button, because that information is hidden right behind the red reserve button.
Yeah, and it won't mean you're reserving it yet. It just gives you a chance to look at the breakdown, and then you'll get another chance to verify that you're actually, going ahead and booking.
Yeah.
One other thing we want to acknowledge about Airbnb is the cancellations. So this is something that can be quite annoying when a host cancels, especially because we book for a month or more at a time. So you've spent a lot of time in finding that place, and there's not as many options when you're booking for that amount of time. And unfortunately, Airbnb doesn't do a lot for you when that happens. They just give you like a $25 credit if the next place that you're renting is more expensive than the one that you spent all that time looking for, and now you have to spend time looking for another one. So they really don't do a good job with that, and that's definitely one of the downsides.
Yeah. So while there are plenty of benefits to Airbnb and getting to live in the neighborhoods and all that, the chance of potential cancellations is definitely not one of them.
Yeah. Now, we've only had 2 in the past 18 months, and really that's 2 in the past 11 years of using Airbnb.
Yeah.
So really, it's a small problem, generally speaking, if you're going for these good places, but it can happen. So now that you've mined the host sections and the reviews carefully, and you've looked everything over, it's important to look at all the photos again and see if you have any questions. It's always okay to message the host ahead of time and ask them questions about something that you see if you want to double check that it's working or not. I've been known to message hosts about coffee makers, if I even needed to know, I was going to pick up the filters on the way there or something like that if we were getting in late. Or if there's an amenity, like in the happy instance where maybe there's a jacuzzi or something like that, and we want to make sure it works, I'll ask them ahead, because there's nothing worse than booking and then finding out it doesn't work.
Heads up, we're currently offering our Good Life Road retirement budget planning tool for free on our website. It's never too soon to start planning for retirement or semi-retirement, so stop by goodliferoad.com to get yours for free.
So we share this information with you on how to get the most out of your Airbnbs, because we've rented dozens of great places over the years, and we've had experiences far richer than anything we would have had in a hotel room. We've had glasses of wine with hosts. We've gotten to enjoy the local markets because we've had a kitchen to use. We've been in really fun neighborhoods, and we've even been included in a neighborhood block party in Vietnam. So we just really highly recommend this type of experience, especially if you're going to start traveling for longer periods of time.
Yeah. So go forth, do your due diligence, and get all the benefits of participating in the sharing economy.
One important thing we want to acknowledge is that in some areas there's upset over Airbnb taking up too much of the housing and driving up the housing prices. And we acknowledge that this can be an issue.
And our understanding is that this issue is often driven by local governments allowing investors and investment banks to buy up too many properties and then use them solely for Airbnbs.
On the other hand, most of the Airbnbs we stay in are owned by local families. And in those cases, we're giving money to a local family and the local economy as opposed to funneling it into big hotel chains.
There's a definite people power benefit to participating in the sharing economy.
Another thing that has to be acknowledged is that Airbnb is serving a purpose. People, when they're traveling for more than a week, especially people like us, you're not necessarily going to want to eat out 3 meals a day every single day like you do when you're staying in a hotel. And Airbnb allows you to have a place that's much more like an apartment, and you shop at the local grocery stores and you make some of your own food while still eating out at the local restaurants some of the time. Is there anything we forgot? Is there something that you do to make sure that you get a good place on Airbnb or otherwise wherever you choose to stay? Please share it with us in the comments because it'll benefit everybody, and we'd love to hear what you have to say. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you for watching. If you got good value out of this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to come along as we explore the world together.
Thank you.
Thank you.